Hello everyone, this is Mike Kim and welcome back to my Diablo 3 channel. Yesterday I spoke about the Barbarian in a solo setting where you would be leveling mostly alone and you would be doing the main quest line. Today I'm going to be talking about the Barbarian in a group setting. Now I know a lot of classes they have to focus on defensive abilities, defensive skills, especially when they want to survive in higher levels of difficulty. But for the Barbarian on the other hand, they are very well suited skills wise to absorb as much damage as possible. I want to go through this because although it's not the optimal if you're going to be alone, but in a party where you have other members of your party doing damage for you, it's actually a very good idea that the class that can specialize in taking as much damage as possible stands up front and make sure all the enemies nearby focuses on him instead of his party members, so his party members can deal as much damage as possible without worrying about kiting, without worrying about dying or potting. In that kind of situation, I would say that rooms get cleared quickly. Let's start with the active skills first. Once again, like I mentioned in my previous video, by level 24 you'll have 6 active skills available for you. 6 active skills slots, I could say, where you can equip skills there. By level 30, at level 10, 20 and 30 you'll pick up passive skills, so you can equip 3 at the same time. What I'm going to be doing is going through what skills may or may not be used when you're tanking for your party. I mean, it may not be your preferential role in a group. You might prefer to go, DPSing and killing things and smashing face. But for some players, they would prefer the traditional tank or meat shield. So in this particular video, I'm going to be trying to create a skill tree for a barbarian that intends to tank. Because, of course, once we are playing a barbarian and we are high enough of a level, we may try it out. Who knows? So here you'll see I picked up Cleave, which is my Fury generator. Swings in a wide arc to deal 115% weapon damage to all enemies caught in the swing. And if you pick up the Indigo Runestone, you also slow down their movement speed by 58% for 3 seconds. So if you're spamming it, I have very high doubts that an enemy will be able to get past you. Here you'll see I picked up Warcry, which generates 30 Fury, which is on a cooldown for 30 seconds. It lasts for 60 seconds and it increases armor for you and your allies within 30 yards by 100%. And if you pick up the Alabaster Runestone, it also increases your maximum life by 16% and regenerates 890 life per second while affected, which is pretty good. In terms of defensive ability, you'll see here I picked up Threatening Shout as well. This is pretty much what the whole skill tree is about. What it does is it shouts with great ferocity, reducing damage done by all the enemies around you by 25 yards by 50% for 15 seconds. And if you put the Crimson Runestone, it also forces them to attack you for 6 seconds. After that, I picked up Ground Stomp, which generates 15 Fury, which is on a cooldown for 12 seconds. Shakes the ground to inflict 110% weapon damage to all enemies within 12 yards and stuns them for 3 seconds. And I picked up the Indigo Runestone, which increases the range even further to 24 yards and pulls enemies closer to you. So this Ground Stomp can be used as an initiator and generates 15 Fury. While everybody is coming in, you can either Threatening Shout to force them to attack you, cast Warcry to generate more Fury, Cleave to increase your Fury if you do not have enough yet, and when all that is done, you'll have about 60 to 70 Fury available. You'll move on to Seismic Slam, which costs 30 Fury, slamming the ground for 230% weapon damage and knocks back targets in a 45-yard arc. And if you take Stagger, which is the Obsidian Runestone for Seismic Slam, you have a 70% chance of stunning all those enemies for 3 seconds. This is a form of crowd control, and you'll see there's no cooldown on this. All it requires is 30 Fury. And by the time you use it, by the time you use Ground Stomp to pull everybody in, Threatening Shout will cost 20 Fury, but Warcry gives you 30 Fury, Cleaving twice after that will leave you with about 30 fury, and Seismic Slam will fit in just nicely. Here you see Revenge has no cost, it's a situational skill. What it does is for every attack you receive, you have a 15% chance to use it. It inflicts 220% weapon damage to all nearby enemies, and you heal yourself for 5% of your maximum life for each enemy hit. So if 10 enemies are hitting you, you have a very high chance of using this ability, and you heal yourself for 50% of your total HP. But here's the kicker. If you use the Indigo Runestone, it increases the chance Revenge will become active to 27% from 15%. So at most, you'll only need 4 enemies to be hitting on you, and you'll be able to be spamming Revenge like nobody's business. Now, moving on to passive abilities. I picked up Inspiring Presence, Superstition, and Nerves of Steel. Here, increases the duration of shouts by double, but that's not really the big deal. Whenever you're affected by Warcry, which I have, I also regenerate 2% of my total HP per second. Here I picked up Superstition to reduce all the non-physical damage I take by 20%, which would mean all spells casted, I would say cold damage, fire damage, etc, etc. And for each ranged or elemental attack I receive, I gain 3 fury. Nerves of Steel, which increases my armor by 25% of my vitality. That would mean that if I have 100 vitality, I would have 25 increased armor, which is almost equivalent to having another pair of boots, maybe, or a belt. So that depends. I'm not sure how well this scales. Who knows? Because right now at level 13, I think my vitality is only about 30 or 40, but I'm fairly certain at later games, during the end game, you'll find that there will be more items with vitality on them. So, this is my ideal, or supposedly ideal, tanking Barbarian. Now, it might not work for you, but who knows, you may want to try it. Anyway, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, see you all soon.